You spent your whole career building out your 401k, but have you thought about what happens when it's time for your 401k to start paying you back? The 401k is one of the most used retirement tools in the entire United States. One important part to retirement that is oftentimes overlooked is the distribution part of retirement. What do I mean by that? You work your entire life, you're building out your 401k, you're taking hard earned money out of your paycheck, putting it into this retirement plan, right? Then you retire. Hold on for a second. You then retire, yes. So we are no longer accumulating into our 401k. We're now retiring. Once we retire, that switch flips from accumulating in our 401k to now we need to take a paycheck from it. Most Americans get stuck thinking only about the accumulation part of retirement, heavily focused on growing out whatever amount of money they think they need, whatever that nest egg you and your wife think you guys need in order to reach that quote unquote retirement one day. And I'm here to tell you that the accumulation part of retirement is very important. Do not get me wrong. However, do we just want to be able to climb up to the top of Mount Everest, or do we want to be able to make it back home safely as well? That's an analogy that oftentimes we'll use when we talk about retirement planning. There's two sides to it. There's the accumulation part where I'm climbing up the mountain, I'm putting in my years of work, and I'm consistently adding money to my retirement plan. Now that you've reached the top of that mountain, you may not have a plan to get back down safely. I oftentimes will share a question with clients. Do more people die climbing Mount Everest or coming back down the mountain? More people die actually coming back down the mountain. Similar to the Mount Everest analogy, with our retirement plans, it is oftentimes the same reality. We do a great job of accumulating assets and building out our 401k throughout our life. But now comes the day where I need to turn that 401k into a paycheck. And many times we haven't built a plan around that. What are some things to consider? Well, for one, we now have taxes that are owed on our 401k when we pull money out of it. We have markets to worry about. So if I'm pulling money out of my 401k while the stock market is dropping, is that the right timing? Should I be taking less out? Additionally, am I going to have enough money to last? If I need $50,000 a year for my 401k and I've got $1 million in it, is that going to be enough money for me? And these are all questions that we start asking ourselves. Unfortunately, many times we're asking these questions once we're already retired. And so I'm here to tell you, if you're someone that has been building out a 401k for many years and you're not sure about the income that your 401k is going to be able to produce for you now that you're nearing retirement or even in retirement, there's many ways that you can start having the right conversations around this. And the first one to start off with is, do I need to have guaranteed money in retirement? Is it important to know that no matter what markets do, no matter where taxes head, I'm going to have a consistent amount monthly or annually coming in no matter what? Because if that's the case, you should probably build out your plan around that. Secondly, how much is my 401k going to be able to produce income wise? So if I have $1 million in my 401k after taxes, depending on how markets perform, when I run those numbers, is that going to provide me enough peace of mind to support the lifestyle that I'm envisioning for retirement? The 401k is what's called a defined contribution plan. What that means is throughout your entire life, the amount that you can put into a 401k is defined. That's where the name defined contribution comes from. The IRS has predetermined the maximum amount you can put into your 401k until the day that you retire. However, once you retire, how much money you're going to be able to pull out of that is not defined. There are a slew of variables that you have to take into account when figuring that out. And so, where I come in and where I sit down with clients like yourself is I help you game plan around your risk tolerance, the amount of retirement income you need based off of your lifestyle and your spouses and your families. And then lastly, I help you guys determine if you maybe need guaranteed income as well. The only thing guaranteed about a 401k up until the day we retire is how much money we can put into it. Once we retire, oftentimes when I sit down with you, you decide it may be important to have some guarantees now. Because if that is the case, great, you can plan around that. There's no one telling you that once you retire, your 401k has to continue offering you uncertainty around how much income it can produce. There's strategies built for you. It comes down to what you envision for your retirement. But the last thing you want to do is stay in that accumulation phase where you continue to just grow out your 401k and hope that it's going to last for your entire retirement. Because as taxes change and we deal with up and down stock markets returns and a slew of other variables, the last thing you want to have in your retirement plan is more uncertainty. So I'm asking you today, have you thought about not just the accumulation part of your 401k and all those years you spent growing it out to get to that ultimate nest egg amount that you've decided is going to be what's going to allow you to retire? But once you do retire, or once you're thinking about retirement, have you created a plan around distribution and how much income you're going to be able to produce, and do so confidently? If you found today's content helpful, subscribe, leave us a like, or comment in the section below about the 401k. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts.